You know how I said that you shouldn't play games in similar, slightly overlapping genres one right after the other? Well, that advice lasted for one video because here's Mortal Kombat Armageddon. Of the main games in Mortal Kombat 6th Generation Revival, Armageddon is the only one I had not played prior to this review. I liked Deadly Alliance and I liked Deception even more, but I saw where things were trending for the franchise. It was like looking at Elvis in his later years. Gone was the all-American boy singing songs about hound dogs, and in his place was a slovenly, drugged-up dullard who adorned himself in embarrassing hues and sparkles, which cannot obscure his expanding waistline enabled by his fried peanut butter and banana sandwich addiction. It might have been fun or funny for a minute until you see his bloated corpse sitting on a toilet. This is where Mortal Kombat was going, and I just couldn't bear to look. This doesn't make any sense, but I'm a big casual fan of Mortal Kombat. I've played most of the games, and I know most of the moveset essentials, but I don't care about the lore or the storylines for all the characters. Look at this. This isn't any kind of Mortal Kombat I've played. It looks like Dynasty Warriors with Mortal Kombat characters, which is something I didn't know I needed until now. Another thing I don't know is who these people are, but I know this lady is too ashamed to show her face because of that skanky outfit she's wearing. Oh, Conquest Mode is Dynasty Warriors cross Mortal Kombat. Put a beat 'em up in a fighting game. I don't care. These genres have some communicability, but Conquest is not good. I like the premise. Wander around strange, far-off lands, find some collectibles and coins, fight some characters with silly backstories. It's a good way to structure a game's reward system, but most of Conquest has you fighting waves of clones with very little of the one-on-one combat upon which the series is structured. The combat which takes place outside of the one-on-one confines is sloppy and mind-numbing. Special moves you can perform here are cool, but that's the only compliment I can give these sections. Conquest offers make work for obtaining Armageddon's plentiful hidden content. There are a few Conquest exclusive secrets, but coins are what you will collect most of the time, which can be earned in other game modes. The crypt is where these coins are spent. The crypt was a cool way to unlock new pieces of concept art, alternate costumes, characters, and videos, but a huge part of its previous appeal was the element of surprise. You had no foreknowledge of what you were buying with your coins. This is completely discarded in Armageddon. Everything is labeled and neatly organized in what looks like an ordinary game menu. The whole presentation and aesthetic feels regressed. It's low rent. These are the main menus. It looks like a Flash game from the same period that this game was released in. The loading screens are even worse. Mortal Kombat 3's fight cards looked awesome. They should have lifted those and put them here. No one would have complained. Armageddon's roster is huge, which makes me think they were going for a new generation Mortal Kombat trilogy kind of feeling here. All but a few characters are immediately available. The roster is matched up with a good fighting game, but its size creates a problem. Animating unique fatalities for every character was too ambitious for the development team's liking, so in their place is a create a fatality feature. It's irritating not because the moves are hard to execute successfully, but because it's had so much more potential than what was realized. Different moves are executed like special attacks and you earn more coins with each consecutive command. How it interfaces with your button presses is a little clumsy, but you'd forget that if the fatalities had any imagination. Combos have also changed, but I can't say for sure if this is due to the larger roster size. It's not a complaint, but the longest combos Armageddon has to offer are much shorter than before. Every character has only two fighting styles. Typically one is a martial art and the other is a weapon, but characters such as mocap have two forms of martial arts. You switch between them with one press of a button, but you have far less opportunity to build bigger combos by linking the fighting styles together like in the Mortal Kombat games leading up to this one. I didn't change the difficulty at all, but I was able to win most matches with different combinations of special moves and juggling attacks. Most of the creative inspiration on this project was spent on the combat venues. This is definitely the game's best highlight. Some stages have different areas accessible by pummeling an opponent into it or getting pummeled yourself. Other stages have built-in fatalities which are more fun to watch than whatever Create a Fatality puts forth. Create a Fighter is an Armageddon exclusive game mode where you create a fighter. As if it's the personal recommendation from the development team, Create a Fighter's default character is a strangely proportioned woman wearing very little. The male default does not fare better. Look at the crazy colors you can paint their skin. You can be the Incredible Hulk or you can be some kind kinda Chinaman. I'm not usually one for tinkering with these create-a-character features, but I bought into this one more than I did with ones found in other games. Limitations aren't always a bad thing, and there's a lot of limitation in this one. You might be surprised at how much you can accomplish by operating within the boundaries. Create a Fighter isn't too necessary, but it's like when I beat up kids at the playground. It makes me feel powerful. Continuing the series' trend of goofy side games is Motor Kombat, and it replaces Deception's Puzzle Combat. I wish they kept Puzzle Combat instead because Motor Kombat is bad and it makes me sad and I don't feel like talking about it anymore. If Mortal Kombat Armageddon didn't have a good fight game core to keep it upright, this would be one miserable failure of a game. It's okay, but you can get that same experience in Deadly Alliance or Deception without these stupid extra game modes and features that aren't very enjoyable. I do not recommend Armageddon above those.